Tomorrow we celebrate All Hallows Eve, also known, of course, as Halloween, but All Hallows Eve symbolizes it's the eve of All Saints' Day. And because of this, of course, we'll have Mass tomorrow evening at 5 p.m., but also Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., as well as 7 p.m. for the solemnity, the holy day of obligation of All Saints' Day. Now, of course, everyone's invited to the 5 o'clock Mass tomorrow night, but I'm guessing not many children will be here. They might be preoccupied doing something else, of course, going trick or treating. It reminds me when I was a child, how a couple weeks ahead of time before Halloween, All Hallows Eve, I'd start asking my buddies, what are they going to go as this year? And also ask them the very important question of what is your family giving out for candy? And we'd hear rumors of king-size candy bars all over Mendota Heights and West St. Paul. So I'd ask my parents, Mom and Dad, can you drive me to this house and this house and this house? And the answer was a resounding no. Stick to the neighborhood. So you'd start talking to your neighborhood friends. Even though they didn't go to your school, you still want to talk to them as well and figure out where is the best candy. And you always knew that the Pilneys were going to give out that Reese's peanut butter cup. And that's a good candy, right? The Smiths were going to give out the black licorice. You could pass that one, but then your dad would be upset. So you'd have to go get the black licorice for your father. You knew as well that the Olsons, all those Olsons, regular size candy bars. You try to go there twice. Now, you'd want to confess that afterwards, by the way. And every year there's always a rumor of the new neighbor moving in who you'd think just maybe, they'll give out that king-size candy bar, that mythical candy bar. Sure enough, you'd go there and you'd get a mini-sized Three Musketeers and be thoroughly disappointed. This past week, I was able to spend some time with my nieces and nephews who live in West St. Paul. And they told me of this mythical place as well called Hidden Creek. We're in Hidden Creek in Mendota Heights. Every house gives out regular-sized candy bars as a minimum, and half of them give out king-size candy bars. It's almost motivating me to get dressed up in a costume. As a layperson, I don't know what I'd go as, right? But then I realize I'm 39 years old and that would not be appropriate. But when it comes to Halloween now as well, we know that people are seeking out candy so much that there's an app out there. I kid you not. There's an app where these houses can put down what they're giving out, or kids can put in there, I got the king-size candy bar, so people can seek candy. Of course, we know what happens the next morning. The children, and usually their parents, wake up as well and say, oh, I had way too much sugar. I shouldn't have sought out that much, and also half of it I'm not going to eat anyways. I'm going to donate to the church because we're that generous, hopefully, right? But of course, do we learn our lesson? Of course not. The next year, we'll be seeking out that candy as well, but we know it's not going to truly fulfill us. We're always longing, seeking for something more. We hear this word seek today in our gospel. What does it mean to seek? It's an attempt to find. Not just to find that king-size candy bar, because our life is more than that. Our life is more than candy. It's more than food. It's more than entertainment. It's more than money. It's more than possessions. We're always seeking. Seeking what? Happiness. Seeking joy, seeking God. Zacchaeus. The story of Zacchaeus, for whatever reason, sticks with us. Maybe because as a little child, we think he was short in stature, you were short. Maybe it's because he climbs that sycamore tree, and as a little child, once again, you think, I too want to climb a tree. But we know there's something more here. Here is Zacchaeus, this tax collector, who says he's a wealthy man. Most tax collectors back then were wealthy, but they're also great sinners. Remember, we heard about the tax collector last week, the sinner, asking God to have mercy on him. So there's Zacchaeus, and he hears that Jesus is coming by in the town of Jericho. And so he wants to see him. He seeks, it even says to see him, but because he's short in stature, he can't see him over the crowd, so he runs ahead. He climbs that sycamore tree. and he's able to see Jesus. But then something amazing happens. Jesus sees him. Why? Because Jesus is seeking out Zacchaeus as well. And so he says to Zacchaeus, Zacchaeus, come down quickly, for today I must stay at your house. And immediately we hear this conversion of Zacchaeus. After he's been seeking out Jesus, he comes down quickly and receives him with what? Receives him with joy, with happiness. Something he's been trying to find his whole life, seeking out his whole life, and money and dishonesty to get these possessions. A wealthy man, but he still knows there must be something more. And so he receives him with joy and has this conversion so much that he says immediately, half my possessions I give away to the poor. How can he say this? Because he knows they're rubbish compared to God. And he uses hyperbole. If I've cheated anyone of anything, he cheated everyone, by the way. That's what tax collectors did. I give back fourfold. So he's essentially saying, I give away everything. Why? We can fast forward to other stories. Because he's found the pearl of great price. What he's been seeking, he has found. And so when Jesus hears this, and of course now the Pharisees grumbling, how can you do this? How can you let this tax collector come in? Jesus says what? Today salvation has come to this house because this man too is a descendant of Abraham. For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save what was lost. Zacchaeus seeks out God, but God seeks out him as well, even greater. And he wants to give him what he's been longing for. He gives him, well, we know, himself on the cross, laying down his life for his friend, laying down his life for this sinner, laying down his life, not just for Zacchaeus, but for all of us. For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save what was lost. And who's been lost? We were. And that sin of Adam and Eve. And so he sought us out so much, longing to find us and to give us what we're longing for. And he continues to do it today, seeking us out. And we too continue to seek him out. That's why we're here today. That's why we're at church, here at St. John the Baptist. Because we know that when we come here, we are going to be able to hear those same words that Jesus said to Zacchaeus. Come down quickly. For today, not only I want to dwell in your house, I want to dwell inside of you. And the Eucharist and the sacraments. And do we receive him with joy when he comes into our life, when we're able to share in his divinity and have that transformation inside of us, knowing that everything other than God is rubbish. That's why we're here, to seek him out and to know that we truly can receive him. We don't need to seek him out in an app. We don't need to climb a sycamore tree. Maybe we've got to climb Mill Street. We come here and we receive him. How beautiful this is, that we can seek God and know that we can find him here in the Eucharist. We can find him here in the sacraments. We can find him here in the school and in faith formation and in Bible studies. We can find him here in the adoration chapel. We can find him here in our fellow parishioners. What a great gift we have. We don't need to go far away to find God. And yes, he's in the whole world. We know this, but most explicitly, he's here in the Catholic churches around the world, including here at St. John the Baptist in Excelsior. What a great gift to be able to seek and find the living God. And do that next year, by the way, we'll be celebrating 120 years as a parish. Think about that. We've been in Excelsior for almost 120 years. That truly is amazing. For 120 years, people have been able to come and encounter God when they've sought him out. And how they've done this? And baptisms, countless, thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe 100,000, maybe a little bit extra there, right? But thousands of baptisms, hundreds of thousands of confessions. Think about that. How many people have come and received that peace that they're longing for? How many people have come to the church doors and received the Eucharist, the living God? How many parishioners have been married here? How many parishioners went to school here, went through faith formation here? How many funerals we've had where we've been able to come together and pray for our loved ones if they've gone before us? What a great gift our parish truly is. Because we know that the world is seeking. We know it. We can turn on the news. We know on our own self that there has to be something more than this world has to offer. And that answer is yes, there is. It's God. Doesn't mean we're not going to struggle. Doesn't mean that the world's not still going to be messed up. It always has been, it always will be. Why? Because it's not heaven. But we can encounter God here. How beautiful. And so that's why this year, our theme for our stewardship stewardship campaign, is seeking God. And you're going to receive in the mail this week a little brochure that just says Seeking God on the front. But on the inside, it tells a little bit more about how our parish is able to help people encounter God when they seek him out. So there's some numbers in there. There's also a short little letter from me, your pastor, as well, encouraging you to prayerfully consider how can we continue to support this beacon of light of St. John the Baptist Catholic Church. So not only we can come and encounter God here, but that others can as well, as they seek out that pearl of great price, that they can know they can find it here, truly in the Eucharist, truly in the Word of God, and truly in the parishioners here at St. John the Baptist. So please, when you receive that brochure this week in the mail, look through it and then start prayerfully considering how we can continue to support the ministry here at St. John the Baptist Catholic Parish.